Where are we headed?
So the way that we talk about where we're headed is like the way we've talked about over the years is what's the vision for what we're trying to do. And so the vision for Destiny going forward, the Destiny franchise, is contained in like 3 parts. The first part is being an awesome action MMO. And
yeah, we've been worried about that term for a long time. You know, we've shied away from using
MMO.
that. Yeah, because it comes with a lot of baggage. It's like, does that mean it's a subscription game, or you got to play with a mouse and keyboard, or whatever? But like, man, you know, this is one of those things. We're on our own now, and it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. Like we can accept the fact that this is what the game is.
There's like duck emojis out in the chat right now. But like when we say MMO, we don't mean like subscriptions. We don't mean subscriptions. We do mean 2 things. The first part where we're lacking right now, and we've like been getting better, Forsaken certainly adds to it, is improving the RPG.
Yeah, we really, want deeper build customization for our players and for your characters. You know, you're creating these monster killing machines and you want to make them your own, and we can do a lot more there.
And so a bunch of what we're doing this fall is going to be about adding the stats back into the game, RPGing the game more than it was. And D2 launched away, Forsaken improved it, and we think Shadowkeep's going to take that kind of to the next level. The second part about what we mean when we say RPG is really important to us. It's about improving social. Like, this is a place where it can be hard to find grouping, it can be hard to make friends in Destiny, and we've been saying for years, as we've been like dodging the MMO term, is like it's a game best played with your friends. And so this is one of the things that on the long horizon of the Destiny franchise, like we have to improve the social game.
Yeah, like, and I just want to take a moment to say, this isn't changing anything about the core action game of Destiny. Like, it is so fun and amazing to shoot monsters in their heads, get headshots, and see their souls escaping their body, and you slip behind cover. Like, at its core, Destiny is an action game. But we're also not afraid to say it's an action MMO, and that's where we're headed. We're taking steps there this year.
And so part 1 of the vision, awesome action MMO. Part 2 of the vision for Destiny going forward is a single evolving world. And we have been close to the mark in some ways and far off in others. The way we've been close is stuff like what happened in Forsaken, when Raid Team goes into the Dreaming City, they kill Riven, and they launch this Dreaming City cycle that like transforms the world. And we think that's awesome, and we want to do more things like that.
When the community gets to come together and discover secrets and solve problems and push the world forward and push that narrative forward, that's when the game really feels like it's not a game, but a real world.
Yeah, for people who don't know some of where I came from, like in my time in WoW, the Scarab Lord Gates opening event was this moment that brought these huge communities together.
I've never heard of that.
It became this awesome event, and I think the potential of what we're trying to do with Destiny is create moments like that create bonds between players and let players work together to change the world. The third part of the vision here is play it anywhere.
Yeah, we want you to be able to play Destiny anytime, anywhere with your friends. And we're definitely going to take steps here this year. And the first one.
Well, I don't know which first you want to do. Like, we're just coming off of the Stadia announcement, which is our partnership with Google.
Yeah. So with Stadia, Destiny 2 is coming to Stadia this year, which is going to be awesome because it means you're going to be able to play Destiny anywhere you have a Chrome browser with their controller, and that's going to be just incredible for our community. You're not going to have to lug your PS4 home to your mom's place at Christmas anymore. In case Xur's selling One-Eyed Mask or whatever. That's not a promise.
You know who's been talking about this all the time? It's like Scott Taylor, constantly talking about where he's going to play. Can't wait to play on my. He just lists a litany of devices that he wants to play. He wants to play Destiny on, and he's just
and that story's just cracked wide open with Stadia. So we're super excited about that because it lets you literally play anywhere.
So it's a great fit for the vision. And then the next thing, do you want to just jump? We have like our set list that we're moving through. And so the next thing on the list, there's been a little bit of talk about over the last 24 hours. Like, maybe you want to talk about cross-save.
So yeah, cross-save is coming to Destiny 2 finally, and we're super excited about that. What cross-save is, it is about taking Guardians that you've created and being able to play them on any platform. And we are super excited about that, and we know fans have been asking for a long time. And contrary to maybe what you've heard on the internet, because I just want to be super clear about this, cross-save is coming to all platforms, all of them, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Stadia. And
there's some
people clapping in the studio.
That is, we do not have an applause light. That's just the enthusiasm of the team.
So we're super excited about that. And Bungie and Sony are working together to ensure that cross-save is coming to PS4 when Shadowkeep launches.
For like years, we would go to do interviews with companies. We'd like dodge this question so many times about like, which platform do you play on? Which platform should you play on?
Play wherever your friends are.
Our answer has always been like, well, we're gonna like message back to like, the best place to play Destiny is where your friends are. But cross-save makes that statement actually true, because you can go from PC to PS4 and wherever you want to play the game, wherever your group's rating is where you can play.
So you've probably seen reports on the internet, and that may be different to this. There's a reason we do these shows live. So.
It's for the really awkward.
Yeah.
It's for us like stammering back and forth. So the next thing on our list here, do you want to talk? Let's talk about a new entry point.
When we think of anytime, anywhere, that third part of the vision, cross-save, Stadia, those are parts of it. But we have some real barriers to making that totally true and really making that a reality. When Forsaken came out last year, for instance, look in the first-party stores. There's like 9 different versions of the game. You need like some kind of decoder ring to figure out what you're supposed to purchase. It's like just way too confusing to figure out what you're supposed to buy.
So the reason, our answer to this like big problem is, what if we just create a free entry point for the game and create a brand new way for players to, a brand new-ish way for players to enter the universe. But there's still this problem of, oh gosh, I've got like 40 hours of game to play. I've got to like get through these campaigns, which are cool, but that's not really the part of the game that matters if you're playing for hardcore reasons.
In the Season of Opulence, Menagerie just came out. It's a 6-player match-made activity. It's awesome. I love playing it. But if I'm going to recommend it to a friend who's not playing Destiny, it's like, well, you got to buy this version of the game, then you buy this other version of the game, then you got to play all that. And I'm not going to play with you because you're doing old stuff. And so it's going to take, it becomes hard to recommend. So we need to fix that.
So the answer to this problem is New Light, where once you enter New Light, in 10, 15, 20 minutes, you now arrive at the part of the game that matters to you and your friends, where you're like jumping into Gambit, Crucible, etc. This is about crushing the barriers between friends and making it a game where you're like, there's something awesome happening in Destiny. I'm going to go check it out. And New Light's totally free.
It's free. You download New Light, create this character. Within 15 minutes, you're playing Gambit with your bros or running around the EDZ and discovering lost sectors. Like, you're having a really fun time.
So the other part of this handshake is the way we're thinking about selling the game differently now. We have, for years, had this like compounding purchase model, even something like the annual pass, which I think we've learned a bunch from, and we have plans for how we're going to iterate on it over time. It meant that up front you had to spend $35 rather than maybe purchasing things a la carte. And that strategy is a strategy that we're changing now that we're in control.
Yeah, if you think of New Light like a baseline, we're thinking of our content kind of like atomic packages that go on top of that. So Destiny 2 Shadowkeep is completely standalone. It's an expansion pack, and it's standalone. It's an expand-alone, I guess is what you would call it.
You don't need to play Forsaken. You don't need to play Curse of Osiris, Warmind. You don't have to have played Drifter, none of it.
You buy it and you jump right in. But we want to do that with Seasons too. And so going forward, our Seasons, you're going to be able to jump in and have a great free experience, and that's awesome. But if you want that, access to some of the premium content, you can jump in and buy that season, Season 8 separately from Season 9.
Yep. So another part that we have had trouble with over the years is answering questions around things like exclusive content. We have had exclusive activities, exclusive weapons, things like this, and those things violate kind of that second part of the vision, which is that single evolving world. So going forward and beginning this fall,
single community of players where everyone can be together, but you're like, well, let's play this strike. Oh, sorry, I don't have that strike on my box.
So we want to remove those barriers. And now going forward, there's going to be no more exclusive activity content, no exclusive gameplay things like exotic weapons. We're not doing any of that stuff going forward.
Yeah. So there's one more thing that I'm going to share before we're done is that this year, Destiny 2 on PC needs to find a new home.
Some would say we need to find an epic partner.
Yeah, and so we need to find a new home, and because we're self-publishing Destiny now, and we're truly on our own. And so Destiny 2 is going to be coming to Steam. And this means that anyone currently playing Destiny 2, they're going to be able to come over to Steam, free of charge. They're going to continue their accounts. They're going to continue all their possessions going to move over. Any licenses they had, any DLC, like whatever, it all comes over. And Shadowkeep, the D2 expansion that's coming out this fall, is going to be shipping exclusively on Steam this year.
It's kind of like when you relocate for a job and they relocate you, and like a van shows up at your house and loads all your stuff, and then takes it. And you show up at your new house, and it's all there. But this time we're gonna like unpack it and move you over to Steam.
How exactly this is all going to happen, there's going to be a website on BungieNet somewhere that describes it in more detail. But we want the transition to be really seamless for players and a really good experience.
So a thing that we want to try to do to wrap all of this up is like do the like Instagram cut down version of everything we just talked about in like 20 seconds. So the vision for Destiny going forward is pretty simple. It's an awesome action MMO in a single evolving world that you can play anywhere. By playing anywhere, that means cross-save across all of our platforms. We have a new platform that we're adding this year, Stadia. We have a new entry point for the game called Destiny 2 New Light, which is free. And everything we add to the game is going to be purchased a la carte going forward. So Shadowkeep, Season 8. Let's say in Season 8 we start to lay the foundation for some changes we want to make to PvP, but it doesn't tempt you to come back yet. Well, maybe in Season 9 we'll have something that's going to make you want to come back for sure. No more exclusives going forward for us in terms of gameplay and armor and weapons. And if you're playing the game on PC, we're moving you to Steam. That's kind of like that's the end of the set list. The encore, if we're carrying the music thing forward, is this awesome?
I think it's more than an encore.
Sure, yeah, actually, we're the opening act.
Yeah, they've been watching two dudes talk to you for 12 minutes or whatever.
So the main event is coming up. Dato's behind us getting ready. But first, let's take a